Chances are, if you look up at the sky, you'll see an airplane taking people from one place to another. I met a Naperville pilot who's sharing his love of flying with the next generation and teaching them a little history along the way. Dennis Wisnosky took up flying a little over 20 years ago, fulfilling a childhood dream.
And when I was a kid growing up in the late 40s and early 50s, back then about the only recreation that there was in my little town and our family situation was going for Sunday rides. And my dad would always end up, it seemed, at this little country airport in Washington, Pennsylvania, and there would be little yellow airplanes taking off and landing, and Piper Cubs, which is what this is, 1946.
When the opportunity arose for Dennis to own one of those Piper Cubs decades later, he took it.
So when I started to fly, I had gone from single engine airplanes to twin engine airplanes, but always had in my mind that I wanted a Piper Cub. For whatever reason, I wanted a Piper Cub. So one Saturday, I was sitting on my patio, opened up the newspaper. Back then, you did that like 10 years ago. And there was a Piper Cub. It was in Poplar Grove. So I called the guy and said, "Don't sell it, I'm coming to look at it." I went up there, and here it is. I bought it.
The Piper Cub was used during World War II as a trainer and quickly became a popular plane, known for its simplicity and affordability. There are still thousands of Piper Cubs around today.
These airplanes were practical back in those days. There are ads showing a family, a husband, wife, and a child in the back, and people use them for business as well as for fun. These light airplanes were sold in department stores after World War II. They had a floor for airplanes. It didn't last very long because the bubble kind of burst really quickly. Pilots were tired of flying. They wanted to go back to doing their business. But this airplane is historic.
Dennis's Piper Cub is used for more than fun. He participates in the Young Eagle program at Clow Airport, where he volunteers his Cub, time, and skills to take kids ages 8 to 17 up in the air.
And it's really exciting for the pilots because every now and then you get kids who've never ever been in an airplane, if you can imagine that in this day and age. Never ever been in an airplane, so their first ride would be in this Piper Cub. That's really a lot of fun.
So much fun that I had to give it a try. Even though I'm a little too old for the Young Eagle program, Dennis gave me the same kind of experience. After a quick rundown of how everything worked,
back is up, down, forward is down, right and left.
But once my seatbelt was buckled, we were off. Dennis lets the kids sit in the front and they get to steer the plane.
It's the ground school they have to go through. That's just about 15 minutes. And then they fly and the pilots are talking to them all the time. The idea is to make it really fun for the kids. Some of them come back. They're allowed to come back a second or third or fourth time. They're given a logbook, just like pilots use, of theirs, and they come back and they can get that logbook entry filled in the second time.
I visited the airport for the last Young Eagles rally this season and talked with some of the kids to see what they thought about their flying experience.
My favorite thing is that you get to be actually with pilots and possibly some unusual planes that you wouldn't usually fly in.
It was really exciting because I got to go in the front seat.
The volunteer pilots hope by sharing their love of flight, they can inspire the next generation.
It's fun, it's feeling, it's the feeling that you get not just with your hands, but feeling the airplane in the air. And we're running out of pilots. There aren't enough pilots in the world to go around. Kids are playing video games. They don't get the feel of what flying an airplane is really like.
Because of the nature of the pilots that are currently flying and aging and general aviation dropping off, it's become a really important program to get younger people interested in flying, and it's working, actually.
Amruth wants to be an aeronautical engineer when he grows up and knows the Young Eagle program will help him achieve his dreams.
I think a lot of kids should do this. It's a really cool experience. Everybody just goes on airliner jets. We never go into the cockpit, but this is an actual experience where you can you can do all the controls and stuff.
I learned that actually it's really hard to fly a plane. I thought it would be easier when I tried the stimulator, but it was hard.
As the program has become more popular, more pilots have stepped up to make sure every kid gets the chance to fly.
All of our pilots and our ground crew, it's just working with a lot of great people that enjoy just putting kids in the air. It's we just all have a lot of fun.
Aviation is a passion that is best when shared.
The best part is watching the kids get out of a plane and the smile on their face. It's just doing this for kids has been wonderful.
Seldom can you find something that's as interesting, as enjoyable, and as practical as flying an airplane.
I'm Jordan Abadea reporting for Naperville News Extra.